Powered by the Zapata Bread Studio. This is Straight Outta Jersey with Jersey Jay-Z.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Jersey Jay-Z, man, and we are 5 days away from the big event here in Suffolk Credit Union Arena coming up. Over 100 wrestlers are going to be there. It's a huge, huge event, really big. I'm going to be there, but there's a special host, and he's one of my friends. I want to bring him on right now. He's Tantalizing Tony himself. You've seen him on Sam Roberts and other stuff. Great podcast. What's up, Tantalizing Tony?
What's up, everybody? It's me, your boy, the host of the big event at the Suffolk Credit Union Arena, March 21st, 2026. The host, it's me, Tantalizing Tony, my man Joe. Thanks for having me on, man.
Thanks for coming on, man. And you are a great host, and I knew you were going to be there again. I wanted to have you on. I first want to say, how long have you been into wrestling?
So I'm 57 years old. I'll be 58 in April.
Okay.
I've been in the wrestling business as a wrestler, a booker, a referee, ring crew. I'm original ECW ring crew from back in the day, 93. I'm original ECW ring crew. And I started wrestling back then as well with the HWA out in Long Island, the Hardcore Wrestling Alliance, with Mikey Whipwreck. I cut my teeth with him. Also used to work with Bubba Ray Dudley, did some work with him in the ring, him training. So, yeah, I've been doing this for a long time, 33 plus years, man, in one form or another. Yeah.
Wow. That's great, man. You've been doing it a long time. How did you end up getting the gig at the big event? I want to know.
So I used to go to the big event as a vendor.
Yes, you did.
Shout out to my boy, Tommy Unger, who's the promoter. I went up to him. I said, Tommy, let me ask you a question. How come you have somebody hosting this thing? He goes, well, I can't trust anybody. I don't know anybody with enough charisma, enough, zeal, enough, stage presence. I said, hold my beer. So I said, listen, give me a shot. And I did it last, November for the first time, November 15th for the first time. And I, not to toot my own horn, toot, but I think it was an incredible experience. I think I did a good job. I was going in blind, but now that I know what to expect and know what to do, I definitely have a hold on what's going to go on March 21st, this Saturday.
That's right. This Saturday, 5 days away. And all the wrestlers I talked to, because I'm friends with a lot of the boys like you, and they all told me, like Goldberg, and said, you did a great job. They all said, he did a great job. They all said that to me. They all said you did a great job. They're very, you're going to get rid of the microphone though, right? You're going to have the PA, I think, this time.
Yeah. So yeah, I had the what do you call it? The
megaphone, like Jimmy Hart.
I had the megaphone like Jimmy Hart. This time I have a PA system. I do think the megaphone was a little bit annoying for some people, and I get it because it was a little, pain in the butt. But that's all I had at the time. But this time, I was promised a PA system. I think we're gonna have music as well. Yep. I'm bringing my 360 photo booth. That's back.
Yes, that's great.
You did a great job on that. That was some great views, by the way, on your Instagram. Over 10,000 views on that your rock promo deal there.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Yeah, I'm gonna also be judging the cosplay contest. So we're gonna correlate all that together. We're gonna correlate the 360, the cosplay, the ring entrances, and of course my special guest Sam Roberts will be there as well. So it's gonna be a lot going on. I can't wait.
Yeah, you've been on Sam Roberts' radio show, correct? There it is, you and Sam Roberts.
Yeah, I mean, I call in as a caller. I haven't been an official guest yet, but hopefully that will change. I'm still waiting for my teeth. Sirius XM Radio, if you're listening, Tantalizing Tony Tuesdays. Give me a segment. Like, come on, I'm that dude. I'm still, and this is, Joe, you know me. I'm just trying to wait for that big break. I've been waiting for a long time. Your dreams sometimes don't come true right away. You got to keep pushing. You got to keep fighting. And like I said, I'll be 58 in April during WrestleMania. And I'm not going to quit until someone out there sees me for what I'm worth and maybe signs me to do something, get some sponsors, something. But I love this business more than anything. Well, I love my kids first, of course, and then the business comes next. But,
Yeah. Who's your favorite wrestler growing up? Who was your favorite wrestler growing up?
So all time, I lived in New York. I grew up in New York City.
Okay.
I'm a Brooklyn kid, but I used to always go to Poughkeepsie to see the wrestlers. So my first match I ever saw was Rocky Johnson and Tony Atlas versus the Wild Samoans for the tag titles. So first ever black heavyweight champions, tag team champions, the Soul Patrol. But I loved everybody because I also lived in Texas and Oklahoma back in the day. So I had to go to World Class. So I was the Dingo Warrior, also known as the Ultimate Warrior
Ultimate
back
Warrior.
in the day. But my ultimate favorite of all time, yeah, the Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour, funky like a monkey. Oh yeah, the Macho Man, and of course his counterpart, my good friend Ricky the Dragon
The
Steamboat.
Dragon Steamboat.
Oh
Yes.
my God.
Yeah, I saw you did an interview with him on your podcast, and you maybe tell us where your podcast, where people can find it.
Man, listen, I'm the Tantalizing Tag Team Wrestling Podcast on YouTube, Tantalizing Tony on Instagram. And just, if you search Tantalizing Tony, you'll find it. We're the only father-daughter wrestling podcast under God's hot sun, walking on God's green earth. My 21-year-old daughter, her and I do it together. She does most of the behind-the-scenes stuff now.
Yes.
She's not really she doesn't love the camera as much as I do, but without her, this channel does not work. She is absolutely the best thing to happen to my channel. So yeah. It's great when you get to travel the world with your daughter and everything and do this. So it's really great.
Yeah, and I noticed that you've been going. You know, it's expensive to go to these WrestleManias and stuff, and I know it's been very tough for you sometimes. So I tell people, what you do a great job, and you definitely have the charisma to do it. So people out there, he has a Venmo at Tantalizing Tony. He has a lot of problems he's had in the past. You know that, Tony. We've talked about that.
Yeah. And I'm not ashamed to tell people, listen, right now I'm going through some things. Listen, right now where you see me, I'm in a hotel. I'm in an extended stay hotel right now. The place where I was living in a very nice home, renting to own, and something fell through. The people I was living with, it was not the best situation, and things happened. So I'm right now in an extended stay hotel. We're doing fine. It's not the greatest situation, but
Yeah.
I was trying to find a silver lining in the cloud of I work as a bus driver, for the school district. So I'm a hard worker. Money's tight sometimes. So when you see me places, it's definitely either saved or someone has either sponsored the trip or, it's like, honestly, man, I'm just waiting for that break where someone sees my worth and I can get enough where they maybe send me tickets or, hotel stay, airfare. I have a lot of friends in the industry who do great, like Muscle Man Malcolm, Alan Owens, the Haroon twins. And I'm not on their level when it comes to numbers yet, but I will say it's no disrespect to anybody. I think I'm the most unique guy out there. I don't think anybody does what I do. I don't think anybody can do what I do. So when I tell you that I can put a promo like this and I'm quick on the whip and I'll do stuff when it comes to videos for people just to promote their business, I'm good with that too. So I'm a different kind of cat. I'm old school, so Joe,
Exactly.
I love the business, man. I love people.
You do, and the first time I met you, and obviously at one of the big events, I knew right away talking to you, you are someone who just, you hustle and you know how to do it and you know how to have the charisma and you can move and the way you bring people in. I mean, you made the best host. That's why Tom picked you, because you can tell you should be the host.
I appreciate that. And he did make me a lifetime host. So he did last show. He's like, hey, man, you're the host forever. You did such a great job. Him and his wife, Michelle, was so happy with what I did, because it's not just about just trying to put yourself over. It's also letting people know what the vendors are. Because, the vendors such as yourself, we want to make sure you do great too. It's not
we want to do great.
It's not always about the superstars that are there. Of course it is. It's about those big name talents. But you guys bring them in too, and you got to make your money as well. So I want everybody. I'm the kind of person, I want everybody to eat. I want everybody to succeed. So I'll do the best I can to make everybody feel like they're Roman Reigns. Like everybody's could reach that glass ceiling. That brass ring can be reached by anybody. I think we should treat everybody the same as if you're Roman, as if you're CM Punk. I think we'll all put our pants on the same way. So that's why I try to put everybody over. Yeah.
So there's over 100 wrestlers going. This is one of the biggest shows on the East Coast. I mean, who are you looking forward to sit down and talk to?
Honestly,
other
than Sam Roberts, who I'm bringing in, I definitely want to pick his brain, but I definitely want to talk to David Otunga. Because I went to John Jay College of Criminal Justice, and I was going to be a lawyer. That was my first plan, to be a lawyer, and I changed my mind. I went to the police department for a little while, and I changed my mind. But I want to talk to David Otunga and pick his brain on what he looks at from being in the business and now how he sees it as an attorney, and what his view on it is. Not to mention, man, I love Jacqueline Moore. She's incredible. I love her. Saraya and Sweet Saraya are going to be there. There's going to be big surprises that I can't talk about right now with some women. Some big things are going to be going on at the big event. So if you still got a chance to get your tickets, go to bigeventny.com. You don't want to miss this. It's going to be a great show. But my thing is this, man. I'm just happy to interact with anybody. Whether independent, whether you're the top guy. If you love wrestling, I'm into it, man.
Yeah. Oh, and Sam Roberts, you're bringing him. I can't wait to meet Sam. He looks like a great dude. Seems like a great dude. I always love his sports stuff.
He's an awesome dude. I actually got his 8x10s made for him, so I can make sure we sell some 8x10s for him. Listen, I booked him myself at SiriusXM Radio when I was at Mark Henry, and I said to him, "Hey Sam, we're in the green room." I said, "Sam, you ever done the big event?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "I'll bring you in, man, as my guest. Just don't worry about money. Don't worry about paying.
Yeah.
So I made sure to get him some photos done.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Sam Roberts. Yeah, I can't wait to meet him and everything.
Great, man.
Is Mark Henry's not going this year? I know he's one of your friends.
That's my good Mark Henry, man. Basically, my mentor. Even though I'm 4 years older than him, he's taking me under his wing, teaching me the business, teaching me the financial part of the business. And when I tell you, Mark Henry is that guy that knows how to. Man, he's a hustler. Man, he hustles so hard. You think I hustle hard? Oh,
yeah,
Mark kills it. But I wish he was coming because anything I do, he promotes it. He's so proud of what I'm doing. But he's not going to be at this one. He will be at the next one, I believe. The guy's busy, man.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. Now, when you were doing the ECW, you were wrestling for ECW and doing all. People don't really put up the rings, correct?
I was the ECW ring crew guy. I was one of the guys that used to get chokeslammed by 911 on a regular basis. And 911 will be at the big event. I haven't seen him in 35 years. So me and my good friend Craig Bosher, who both got chokeslammed by 911, it's on YouTube. We look for it. We're going to recreate that picture where he chokeslams us. So, yeah, I look forward to that as well. I got to pick Paulie's brain when he was there back in the day. Such an experience to work with guys, with Taz, with the Public Enemy, with Terry Funk, with all those guys from back in the day. Yeah, I go back.
Do they still remember all of you? Do they still remember you? Of course, probably, right?
So Tommy Dreamer knows me, of course, and me and Taz, if he sees me, he recognizes me. And I was a little slimmer back then and a lot more hair back then. But Tom was undefeated. But yeah, they remember us because we did a lot for them. We used to be basically their crash test dummies. Like when they wanted to get in the ring and do some stuff, we'd be the guys that would take the bumps for them, So
wow. How long does it take you to sit down and put up a ring and bring it down? How long does it take you?
If you do it properly, hour and a half, 90 minutes. 90 minutes to be down if you do it properly. 90 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure your dream was always to break into WWE. I'm sure that was always probably a big dream.
Here's my thing. I did wrestle. So I wrestled out in Pittsburgh, United States Championship Wrestling. I was their light heavyweight champion for 2 years. I used to wrestle people like Christian York and Blade and the Iron Warrior. I was quite popular back then, and I did want to go to WWE, but the thing about this is this, guys, that you might not realize that a lot of wrestlers, and no disrespect to any of them, they make tough choices. They miss it. They don't see their families. Like a lot of wrestlers don't get to see their kids. They grow up, and next thing you know, they're adults, and some of them don't have the best relationship with their kids. And my thing was, I had to make a choice: my children or the business. Now I have older kids that you guys haven't met. I have a 39-year-old son who lives in Vegas. So my oldest son, Anthony Jr., used to come to the ring with me as a kid. He's 39, and my other daughter's 31, and then my kids are 25, 24, 21, and my little guy Michael is 8 years old. And I have a granddaughter who's 3 and a grandson who's going to be 3. So yeah, I'm about family first. I had a lot of opportunities to do some stuff this past year, and I had to turn it down because I don't want to leave my kids, man. So that's tough.
It's pretty tough. Now I'm 50. You're a little bit older than me by a couple of years, but I grew up in the same time with wrestling. I mean, Tony, I remember the Soul Patrol. Obviously, Tony Green and Rick Martel were my tag team champs. Okay. I was going to ask you, the wrestling today, do you like it compared to the wrestling back then?
So here's the thing. I think it has evolved in aspects of how they tell stories.
Okay.
But if you don't go back to the heyday of wrestling when it was the best, other than the Attitude, we all know the Attitude Era was great, but people don't realize the Attitude Era was only 4 years. It wasn't that big of a span. It was only 4 years. But if you go back to the mid 80s, 86 to 91, you had some great tag teams. Like back in 87, the first ever Survivor Series in the Richfield Coliseum, Ohio, you had the Killer Bees, Strike Force, the Powers of Pain, Demolition, Power and Glory, who is the most underrated tag team in the business. Hercules and Paul, very underrated as a tag team. So I think that, it's hard to say what was better because, who's better? Kobe, Jordan, LeBron. It depends on what era you're in. Yeah. I do think that, globally wise now, how you can see wrestling much easier because of social media. But in aspects of kayfabe and keeping it, close to the vest,
Correct.
The 80s is that deal, man. The Mega Powers exploding, was a big deal to me. Ultimate Warrior Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 6, huge. Hogan pinned cleanly for the first time in almost ever. So yeah, I miss those days, but I like the product nowadays. There's things that I could do
You do?
without, but
You think Triple H is doing a great job?
listen, people give Triple H a hard time.
They do.
They do. Listen, here's the thing about Triple H. He has to do a show, not just one show, not just two shows, pay-per-views, whatever, premium live events. It's a 52-week-a-year job.
Yeah.
Everything can't be knocked out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
There's some things you got that get regurgitated, that get revamped, and some things don't work. Like the John Cena heel turn, it didn't work.
Didn't work.
But they course corrected it. I don't know where John Cena comes on TV. Hey, listen, F this. I'm going back to where I should be. I had a bad couple months, and I think that's not treating the fans as dummies. We're smart.
Yeah.
So I think Triple H is doing a great job. I think if you rate him out of 10, I think it's an 8.5, 9 out of 10. Everything's not going to hit,
Yeah, I think so. But back in our day when we were watching in the 80s and stuff, wrestling was, like you said, it was a believability, kayfabe, and also they couldn't get away with things today that they did back then. Where it's some of the stuff borderline racial and got crazy stuff. You know how it was back then.
Yeah, listen, Kamala back in the day, the Dr. Styles Flick.
Yes.
$1 Million Man and Virgil, that dynamic. But I think people are so thin-skinned. If you look at it back then, and you pop, some people are offended. I think people are so like powder puff nowadays. Like, oh, I can't believe you said that. Like, the beauty of wrestling is breaking down that fourth wall sometimes, and also pushing the envelope. Crossing that line sometimes, dipping your toe over that line to see what you can get away with. And maybe it doesn't hit, listen, I will never say anything about people's sexuality or racism. There's some things you can't cross, but there's something you can push the boundaries on, so it's a catch-22. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
With our age too, some people say, oh, you guys like wrestling still, but people don't realize it's like our soap opera for people like General Hospital or people like, those times. It's our soap opera, how do you feel?
I feel the same way. So I'm a soap opera kid. I was raised on soap operas. All My Children, One Life to Live, General Hospital, also Dynasty in Dallas.
Yeah.
Shout out to Michael B. Jordan for his Oscar win. He used to be on All My Children. He was on All My Children. And I grew up watching episodic TV, which is wrestling. Like you can pick up, like you can miss soap operas for 3 months and watch one day, and you know exactly what's going on. And that's how wrestling is. It's a man soap opera. Like, people can't get it. But, you know that when you go to a wrestling match, you're guaranteed 3 hours of entertainment. You go to a Mike Tyson fight, it might end in 5 minutes. So it's true. I look at it this way: as if you're going to spend your money on something, get your money's worth. Like I said earlier, is everything going to hit? No. But for the most part, get that 3 hours of just fantasy. Forget your job problems, forget your relationship problems, forget your kid problems, and lose yourself in the moment in wrestling, and just take it for what it is, an art form.
100%. Now, you went to Saudi Arabia to see the wrestling, right?
Saudi Arabia,
yeah. How? I mean, I've never been there. I've heard crazy things. What was it like going there for the wrestling event?
So let me tell you, shout out to my boy Matt Kemke of the Vlog Warriors, who sponsored the trip. He paid for my airfare, my hotel, and my tickets for SmackDown and the Royal Rumble.
All right.
He lets me to get footage for him with the fans, with interacting with wrestlers and everything. So I went to do it for him, and I'm so glad I got to go, because Saudi Arabia, I was so afraid. I would have been too, man. I didn't know. How was it though? But when I got off the plane, I had my suit on. I wore a suit. I wanted to make sure I was looking good when I got there. I had a nice suit. I got off the plane. I had my title on my shoulder like this. I carried this everywhere I go. This is my logo for the podcast. Had it on my shoulder. I walked out, and all the people were like, "Hey, come on, man, let's take pictures." And they were so inviting. Took an Uber to my hotel, and it's so cheap out there. So a 18-mile ride for us in the Uber is probably $60. It was $8.
Wow.
Yeah. So I got to my hotel. Oh my! They upgraded me to a better room. They were so nice and to me, and the food was great. They treated me like a king. Now I know there's a lot of issues out there in Saudi Arabia with problems and with the politics. I don't get into it. I was just worried about walking around at night because I didn't know where to go. Because where the arena was literally a hop, skip, and a jump from my hotel. So I could walk to the arena. But the problem is that you can only cross the street in certain areas. So you have to walk miles down to cross the street to come back the other direction. A lot of rules. But if you follow the rules that they have, I had no issues. I was scared. There was one issue I had with one person that tried to snatch my belt. Some guy wanted to wear it. And I was like, hey, bro, listen, I know you guys think this is, this is your home and everything, but I'm not going out like that, bro. So the guy tried to snatch my belt, and I was like, listen, I'll get locked up out here. So I was really nervous. A merchant came out and was like, hey, man, he's cool. That's Tantalizing Tony. They knew me. It was crazy. You saw some of my videos. The kids knew who I was.
Yeah, I saw them. Yeah.
Right? They're tantalizing. I couldn't believe it,
Yeah, they knew who you were. You're pretty big, man. You're pretty big, man. Again.
You say so. You say it. ChatGPT says it. Sports Illustrated says it. But the numbers ain't saying it. I'm a numbers guy. I want the numbers to go up. But it is what it is.
Yeah, but you're gonna keep doing these events. They're gonna keep going, getting bigger and bigger, and everyone's gonna know your name. I know it because I trust you. I love you. I think you do a great job, brother. I really do.
I appreciate you, Joe. You have no idea when the first time I met you, how inviting you were to me, how good you made me feel. Because I love when somebody in the business recognizes that I'm really a hustler and I'm really trying my best. Like I cry about this business. I love this business like that. Like I want this. It's not, people think it's about the money. And of course I want to get paid. Of course. But I want a better life for my kids.
Yes.
I'm a hard worker and I have a few children, like I said, and I want them to have something that I built on and they can say, my dad did this. Like it's for my legacy, it's a big deal. To walk around with a title belt at 57 years old, how much ridicule I catch, like, oh, you're such a mark and such this. And maybe I'm a mark. I don't think a mark's a bad thing. I really don't. I think if you're a mark, you love this business and you don't care what people say about you. Now, and some other boys might think, oh, he's too much. And I may be too much, but that's me. I'm not changing for nobody, man.
No, exactly. And don't change. Keep doing what you're doing because you're going to get there. This Saturday, 5 days away, the big event. Why don't you tell everybody where to find you, what you're going to be doing, your podcast and all your social media?
All right, guys, listen, the big event, March 21st, 2026 at the Suffolk Credit Union Arena in Long Island, New York. Please go to bigeventny.com for your ticket information. VIP package is still available. Not to mention, guys, my tag team podcast with my daughter is called the Tantalizing Tag Team Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. Follow me, Tantalizing Tony, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. And listen, it's so simple to find me. Once you type in Tantalizing, my name comes up. I'm verified on Instagram. And I'm at 26,000 plus on YouTube. So I'm doing okay.
Yep.
I appreciate you giving me the time, bro.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I will see you Saturday. So let's keep it going and party on that, man. All right. Keep it up, Tantalizing Tony. Love you, brother.
I appreciate you, bro. Stay tantalizing.
You got it. All right.
Started from nothing. Jersey streets, we owned it. Jay-Z pumping iron. Bodybuilder Cody. Years on the course.